Have you ever felt like you're speaking a completely different language than everyone else around you? You're not alone. In our wild, fast-paced digital world, that feeling is actually super common. So today, we're going to crack the code on how to really communicate. And believe it or not, it all starts with one very embarrassing sentence. Okay, picture this. You're trying to tell your teacher you have a headache, right? But what actually comes out of your mouth is, I am a headache. I mean, we can laugh about it now, but in that moment, oh, the cringe is so real. This one little slip-up just perfectly captures that deep, universal fear we all have of getting it wrong. And it's that fear that holds so many of us back.
You know that knot you get in your stomach right before a big presentation? Or that split second of hesitation before you hit send on a post? Yeah, that's the fear of speaking, and it's something we all share. But what if I told you that fear isn't just some vague feeling? It's a real thing, and we're going to break it down, because once you really understand your enemy, you can finally start to win.
So these aren't just bad feelings. Researchers have actually identified these as really specific psychological roadblocks. Think of it like a cocktail of communication killers, right? Anxiety is that little voice whispering that you're about to be judged. Lack of confidence tells you your ideas just aren't good enough. And that fear of making a mistake, oh, it can be so paralyzing that it just shuts you down completely. Okay, let me tell you about the great muffin versus muffler incident. There was a student brand new to English who proudly announced to the class that for breakfast, they'd had a coffee and a muffler. Yep, a car part. The whole room just erupted in laughter. And while it's funny, it gets right to the heart of that fear. But here's the secret. Every single one of us has a muffler moment. These mistakes, they aren't failures. They're actually the building blocks of getting better.
All right, now take that feeling of being in a classroom, that fear, and multiply it by, I don't know, 1 billion. That's the digital world for you. It's this proving ground where every comment is a potential judgment, and language trends change before you've even figured out the last one. The rules are evolving fast, and honestly, the stakes have never felt higher.
And right at the heart of this new digital language is Gen Z slang. And look, this is not your parents' dictionary, okay? It's a living, breathing language that was born in the super fast visual worlds of TikTok and Instagram. It's playful, it's always changing, and if you don't get it, man, you can feel totally out of the loop. So let's do a quick translation session. No cap is basically the new way to say for real or no joke. If a song slaps, it's amazing, it's a total banger, and if you're just feeling yourself, owning your day, you've got that main character energy. See, it's not just random words. It's a kind of cultural shorthand that packs a whole lot of meaning into just a few syllables.
But this is where it gets a little tricky, and it connects right back to that fear of making mistakes. It's not just about knowing the definition, it's about understanding the vibe, you know? Being salty is not the same thing as being upset. One is kind of a playful irritation, the other is real, genuine emotion. Or a glow-up, that describes a whole specific kind of transformation journey. If you get the nuance wrong, you've kind of missed the whole point. So, are you still thinking this is all just kid stuff? Well, get this. A recent report found that social media posts that use this kind of relevant slang see a 35% jump in engagement. 35%! That's a massive difference. So this isn't just about sounding cool. It's about actually being heard. In the digital world, speaking the right language has a real, measurable impact. So we've got this fear holding us back on one side, and this whole new language to learn on the other. So how do we bridge that gap? Well, the answer is as old as time itself. Storytelling. And listen, this isn't about being some kind of natural-born creative genius. It's about learning the blueprints, the frameworks that make any message, any story, powerful and unforgettable. Okay, tool number 1 is the AIDA framework. It's a classic for a reason. Think of it like a recipe. First, you grab their attention, maybe with a shocking fact or a great question. Then you build their interest by explaining why it matters. Next, you create desire by showing them the value, how it could change things for them. And finally, you give them a clear call to action. It's a simple, super powerful path. And next up, we've got the 5 C's, which is just pure storytelling magic. You start with context, set the scene. Where are we? Who's here? Then you introduce the conflict, the big problem. This builds and builds to a climax, that huge turning point. After the dust settles, you've got the conclusion, where things get resolved. And finally, the most important part, the change. How is our hero different now? If you master this, you can make literally any topic compelling. Okay, so we've got the frameworks. Now, let's look at how the pros, the best of the best, actually put them into action. This is the modern creator's playbook.
These are the cheat codes that the top YouTubers and TikTokers use to get you hooked and keep you watching till the very end.
In the world of online video, you have maybe 5 seconds to grab someone's attention. 5 seconds. That's why you need an absolutely killer hook right at the start. But a good beginning isn't enough. You need a clear story, something people can relate to, that builds tension, and then, and this is crucial, gives them a satisfying payoff. Don't just entertain people. Give them something valuable they can walk away with.
All right, here's the secret from the absolute best creators out there. The hook doesn't just happen at the beginning. They use what are called micro-hooks all the way through their content. You know, little phrases like, "But that's not even the craziest part," or, "And what happened next completely shocked me." These are like little breadcrumbs of curiosity that keep you leaning in, always wondering what's next. It's a total game changer.
This just sums it all up perfectly. You gotta think of these frameworks not as a bunch of restrictive rules, but as cheat codes. They're the secret strategies that let you level up your communication game so you can connect with your audience and, win. But all the cheat codes in the world won't work without the single most important ingredient, you. Seriously, authenticity is what makes any of this stuff work. So talk to your audience like you're talking to a friend. Share what worked for you. Don't be afraid to be funny or nerdy or whatever feels natural. At the end of the day, people don't connect with frameworks, they connect with real people.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground. We started with that simple, cringy fear of just saying the wrong thing. Then we navigated the super complex world of digital slang. And then we uncovered these powerful tools of storytelling. We've basically laid out a roadmap for how that fear can be overcome with a solid plan. Because true confidence isn't about just magically getting rid of fear. It's about building a toolkit. It's about understanding the psychology behind the fear, learning the new rules of the game, and then arming yourself with proven strategies that work. That's how you go from fear to frameworks, from hesitant to fluent. So we've given you the playbook. We've shown you the tools, even the cheat codes. The only thing left now is for you to actually use them. So the real question is this: what story will you